The early bird gets the worm. If you noticed, I was here first because I wanted to meet each of you individually, and I've done that. Even Scott, who I've known for some time. He is the president of our Winter Park Toastmasters currently. So I apparently have 3 or 2 evaluators in the room here. So I'm sorry I didn't bring my manual, Scott, but here we go.
I have one in the car.
Where's the bell?
So the reason you get there early is twofold. One is when you meet someone, introduce yourself, don't get into specifics. You just want them to have a picture of you. Because when you do stand up to introduce yourself and talk about your company a little bit, they're seeing you twice. That goes into the head. When I coach people for the International Speech Contest, and they go to the contest like district here, I make sure that they're there on Friday night, even if they're speaking Saturday night, the second event, because I want them to go to every single table, introduce themselves, tell them the club they're with, but never tell them that they're going to be a speaker. Because then when they come out Saturday night, and they're competing against 6, 7, or 8 other speakers, you're immediately recognized. Does that help in the voting? It could. It can be an influence in that. Entertainers know instinctively you play the crowd. When you're done with the set, you go out in the audience and you talk to your audience. That should apply with all of us with everything. So the idea is when somebody comes into the room, you want to meet them right away. So if you're here first, you're going to do that. They're going to see you twice within that meeting, and perhaps a little later. If you decide you've met somebody and you want to set an appointment, what do most people do? Yeah, I'll shoot you an email or text you. No, you pick up your phone, you both open your calendars, and you schedule it right then and there. That's what I always do. I just scheduled to call this afternoon the caterer for the club. It's already in my calendar. The calendar I use not a checklist so much in that area, but schedule it then. Then it's done. You've got something prepared the next time. Otherwise, you're going to come to the next meeting where you completely forgot about that person and go, oh, geez, where can I hide? Because you've forgotten. So schedule it the moment you can. If you don't have a smartphone, just write it down or get your book out if you use a book instead and get it done. So you're both on the same track. It's all about rapport. When I meet someone in a sales situation, I always build rapport first. And I mean common ground. And when I say that, I will not talk about business initially. I'll notice something they're wearing or what have you. Like this lady down here, she looks like she's from England, right? You heard that today. And I'll build on that because that establishes a rapport and a bit of trust with people. So now you're off and running. So try and build rapport first. When I had my business, which was a teammate service, people would call in. And I was the first one to do that in Florida. And I'm going to have to tell them 3 things. 1, the price of your maid service is now going to double because it's a business instead of a girl down the street. 2, you're going to leave money on the counter. And 3, you're going to tell me how to get in your house. And you've never met me. Do I have a challenge? So rapport was first. If somebody call in and say, I'd like a quote on my house, and I said, well, give me a little information, we'll see what we do for you. So they'd mention the subdivision. And I would immediately say, oh, do you know Mrs. Smith over on 2nd Street? She's in the same subdivision. That's rapport. Because there's, oh, good, they've been here. Little things like that makes a difference. There's a lot more to that I teach in my sensory networking seminar. Now let's talk about why we don't actually approach people. How many people actually have a fear of going to a networking event? Anybody here? It's okay if you do. Okay? So we'll work on this chap over here. Okay. What is fear? Where does it come from? Fear comes from beliefs. Now this is coming right from my old boss, Tony Robbins, right? Fear comes from beliefs. The question is, are those beliefs real? Most of the time they're not. So we can see through those beliefs. So, because fear means false evidence appearing real. And when you're done, you notice, hey, wait a minute, I got through this. We always get through it. Let me give you a really good example. Does everybody remember Dr. Schuler and the Crystal Cathedral? Remember that? Well, I was working for Prudential, door-to-door insurance salesman. Oh yeah, this is going to be easy. They're going to love to see me because I'm going to protect their family. Talk about naive. So the first time out, about 6 weeks into the company, I go with my sales manager, John, and he says, just stand here at the curb and watch how I do this. So he goes up to the door, he knocks, I can't hear what he's saying, but they're having a little discussion.